so here's the way tax increment financing will work in this situation. So right now, the mall is one of the largest private property taxpayers in the city. It's actually fairly recently dropped to being the #3 largest taxpayer, and I apologize at times. I've usually said it's one of the largest. At times I thought it was the largest. Actually, the Innovation Center recently passed it. The building of the EIC is in. Pays about $730,000 in taxes every year currently, total property taxes. The way if this investment goes forward, what will happen is that property tax base will rise dramatically to the point where the new taxes are approximately $2.4 million a year. So from a little more than 700,000 to 2.4 million a year. That 700,000 continues to flow to the city and the schools the way it does today, indefinitely. The new increment, the new taxes that are generated by this investment of hundreds of millions of dollars into the private blocks, that creates this new tax base that gets broken up in these two ways. There's two periods of time, and we have this chart that Karen Freudenberger is here, has helped us develop it. Okay. All right, great. All right, this is the first time I've spoken from the charts. Let me see if I can do justice to it. But here is the existing tax base today, which is split between the city and the schools. I think most people are clear on this. About 2/3 of what you pay today to the city when we collect taxes from you is us just actually collecting taxes and then forwarding it on to the state for the state education fund. That continues in this period post development. Say it goes on more or less on schedule. By 2019, this block is rebuilt and it generates this total amount of taxes now, up to $2.4 million. The 700,000 continues to flow as it does now. Nothing changes with that. There's no erosion of the taxes to the schools in the city. In fact, right from the start, as soon as phase 1 opens, there's a bunch of new money flowing to the city and schools, almost as much as is currently there, about 600,000, 400,000 approximately to the Ed Fund, and 200,000 to the city. So it's as if it probably would be more or less the 4th highest new taxpayer suddenly being added to the city rolls. So it's a substantial amount of new property taxes. This additional new property taxes are also being paid in full by the developer right from the start, by the owner. There is no tax break being given to the owner. They are paying full taxes. That additional increment, that 75% of the increment, flows into the TIF district, which is controlled by the city, and the city uses that TIF district for about a 15-year period of time to pay for those 8 blocks that we were just talking about. At the end of that 15-year period, which is only 10 years longer than we are already committed to doing, the TIF district is already in existence and is already going to capture these taxes until 2025. So it's really, we're talking about a 15-year period of time when this funding exists. After that, all of the money flows to the city and the schools in whatever ratio things are at, almost 20 years from now. So big chunk of money to the schools, smaller but much larger than today, flowing to the city. This, hopefully this graphic helps show how this is a substantial piece of growth to our grand list, to our tax base. That is what great downtowns do. They are the workhorses of the property tax system. We already had, that was an interesting stat that came out of the Plan B TV process, is that citywide we generate about $13,000 an acre in property taxes. This part of town might be a little bit higher than that, but on average, that's where it falls. In the downtown, on average, you're talking about $200,000, close to 200, a little more than $200,000 an acre. This, I believe, is about $600,000 an acre post redevelopment. So it's a real workhorse. That is not the only financial benefit to the city and the state. In addition to property taxes, there will be substantial amounts of gross receipts, sales tax revenue generated by this that's not being generated today. There's opportunity for more workers there today that will be paying income taxes to the state. The total economic development has been studied by a UVM economics professor, and his projection is over a 30-year period of time. I think he's projecting $45 million in new revenues to the city and close to $200 million in new revenues to the state. That study too, for anyone who wants to get into details, is on the city's website. So how's that for a TIF summary?